When you think of a bacon and egg roll, you think crispy bacon, maybe a fried egg tomato sauce on a roll. Fantastic. But I want to pimp this one up a little bit. So of course there's going to be lots of crispy bacon, but I'm going to scramble my eggs and serve it with melted provolone cheese and a super zingy mayonnaise. First thing we need to do though is get our bacon on. Now I like to use rindless bacon for this. This is streaky bacon, so that means that it's from the pork belly. Perfect amount of fat to meat ratio. You can see all of the fat there, which is going to make sure it stays super juicy as it cooks. This one's also been smoked with Australian hardwood, so we've got that lovely smoky flavour that we all love with bacon. So into a pan. My pan's not on yet. What I like to do is lay the bacon out just in the pan, and then we want to slowly bring up the heat. I like to do it this way because it allows that fat to render, which means I can cook my eggs in that delicious bacon fat. So heat on, and we're just going to allow that to start to warm up and then become crispy. So a few minutes on that side, I'll turn it over, and then I like to drain it on some paper towel. Now, onto the sauce. There's a few ingredients in it, but most of them you'll already have in your pantry or your fridge. So some good quality whole egg mayonnaise into a bowl with some grainy mustard, and it's the grainy mustard that makes this sauce so special. You can use some Dijon if you have that though, you still get a lovely flavour. Mix that together with a small hint of tomato sauce. I want that tomato sauce in there for a little bit of sweetness, but also to give it that lovely rose colour. Some garlic powder, a sprinkle of that, and some Worcestershire sauce, and that's going to give it a really nice savoury flavour. Just a splash of it. Next, some smoked paprika, and I like to add some pickling liquid. So when you've got your gherkins, all that liquid in the jar, so much flavour. What is it? Well, it's vinegar and sugar, and it goes really nicely with this. So don't waste that. A little splash into the bowl. And to give this sauce some extra texture, you do get the texture from that grainy mustard, but some extra texture, some gherkin. And I'll just use a knife just to finely slice that. You don't want it to be too chunky. And you probably need about a tablespoon of these gherkins. So I like to sort of put them in two piles and then chop them up. All right, these gherkins go straight into the sauce, and you can make this ahead of time if you like. In fact, it'll taste better if you make it the day ahead. Right, bacon's calling, I can smell it. Let's turn it. Ah, look at that. Crispy, slightly charred on the outside, exactly the way it should be. And see all that fat? That's going to be fantastic for our eggs. So in a bowl, our eggs, 3 eggs, and I'll just give them a quick whisk with a fork and a pinch of salt. All right, this bacon is super crispy, so we'll take it out of the pan. And we want to keep all that fat in there for our eggs. So before we get onto the eggs, let's toast a soft bun. I like to use sesame seed. And just in a hot pan, we just want to toast that on one side just so it warms up nicely. Non-stick, super handy when doing this. In with our eggs. And I just like to leave it for a moment just so it sets on the base. And once that happens, we want to bring in the sides. So as you do that, it looks like a little handkerchief, and that's the way I love to do my eggs. So now that we've got lots of little handkerchief, little nooks and crannies, turn the heat off. This is enough for 2 people, so I'm going to cut the egg in half. And then this is where we add the provolone, and it melts with a residual heat from the eggs. So 2 pieces or 3 pieces of cheese, depending on how much you want. Then what I like to do is fold that over and just leave it in the pan for a moment, just to melt that cheese slightly. So as you bite into it, you think it's only egg, and then a wonderful surprise of gooey cheese is in the centre. We'll take the bun out and we can start building. So on the base, a generous amount of that grainy mayonnaise, some crispy bacon, and I'm going all out, lots of bacon for this. And we'll top it with our gooey egg. Look at this gooey, melted cheese omelette. We'll pop that on top. More sauce because it's that good. I like a little bit of heat, so I've got some Tabasco just over the eggs. A few drops is all you need. We're going to transfer this over to a plate and then we'll top it. Well, I did tell you it's not your average bacon and egg roll. Gooey cheese and fluffy eggs, crispy bacon, and a seriously good sauce. I've got to have a taste of this. If you want to impress someone, maybe Saturday morning, a big cook-up, this is what you've got to make them. They're going to love you for it.